last week we did VLOOKUP. So I want to know how many of us have been able to work on the VLOOKUP like ourselves. Like I've been able to, that you can say that, okay, they give me any work on VLOOKUP, on XLOOKUP, I can do it myself very well. How many of us? Please be sincere. I want you to put it in the chat box or mute your mic if you are still having problem with it. Is it that
Hello,
there's
good
nobody that
evening.
yeah, good evening.
Yeah, and for the XLOOKUP,
Yes.
right? I tried it. I don't know if I can share my screen. I don't
No,
know
you
what
can.
is okay. Just a minute. I believe you can see my screen, right?
Yes.
Okay, so this is my VLOOKUP,
Okay.
right? So the VLOOKUP, I try to look up for this salary. I use this
Okay.
as my table array, this A to
Okay.
D.
Okay.
So which worked for
Okay.
me. So that one works. But for XLOOKUP, the way you asked us
Yeah.
to do it,
Yeah.
so I'm trying to look for departments. This is my table array, but I'm looking for while.
Okay.
So the first thing I did was to select this Bob Johnson, because that's what I
Okay.
want to look up for. Look for
Yeah. Yeah.
look up
Okay.
do XLOOKUP for the department.
Bob Johnson.
So I
Yeah.
now selected, for XLOOKUP, we just select where this
Yeah.
thing is. This one
Yeah.
is not that I select everything.
Yeah.
So I selected the B column, that's B2 to B51.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then the next thing I did was
I've already seen where the
C2.
problem is. I've seen where the problem is, but go on.
Okay. And then I did if not available.
Yeah.
That if not found, put
Yeah.
not available, right? It now
Yeah.
gave me 0
Okay.
instead of putting not available, because I went to delete the value for the department. I went to make it empty so that it will show me if not found, not available, but it's giving me 0. So I don't
For
know
the
what
next
I
one,
did wrong.
move to the next. Move to the next cell. After finance, move down. I want to see something. No.
Okay,
Go back. Go
this
back.
place.
Under your
Oh, okay.
XLOOKUP. Yeah. Do you do
Yes.
you do you get where the problem is yourself? Can you detect?
No, that's what I'm saying. That's
Move
the
it up.
challenge I'm
Move it
having. I
up.
don't know where the error is.
Move it up.
Okay.
Can anyone in the class detect where the error is from just looking at this formula?
Then maybe
From looking
because I
at
did not lock it. I locked it
yes.
before. It still did not give me
No.
answer.
No, you should
I
not
locked
leave
it.
it. You should not leave it
Eh?
unlocked. Lock it back.
But
Go to the first
okay,
one.
but look at this one now. This VLOOKUP. I didn't lock it and I got the answer.
You have to always lock it. So let's do
Okay,
the
okay. Let
XLOOKUP
me
back.
lock it now and see.
Clear. Wait. Clear. Go to that XLOOKUP. Go to that XLOOKUP back.
I'm there.
Under that department, clear everything. Like everything from up down.
Okay.
So shift control down. Delete it. The first one, delete it.
Okay.
So equals to XLOOKUP.
Okay, just a minute, please. Sorry. Okay. So I should do XLOOKUP.
Yep.
Equals to
The first
XLOOKUP.
one.
Can you still see my screen?
Yeah, I can see it. Yes, equals to XLOOKUP. What do you want to look up? What value do you want to look up? Is it the
I want to
employee
look up
ID or the name?
department.
Yes, I know. The lookup value. Which value do you want to
Okay, I
look
want to
up?
use the name to look up
Okay,
name.
yeah, select the name. No, you are not going to select the name there. You are selecting the name here. Yes, select the name,
Oh,
comma,
okay.
lookup array, go to where the
Okay,
name is.
I'm selecting the name for my table
Yes, you are selecting the name
from here.
from this first one. Yes. No, from the XLOOKUP, where the XLOOKUP table.
And that's what I did. That's what
Yes,
I did.
L3,
That's what I
L3,
did.
yes, L3.
And that's what I did before.
Yes,
That's
that's
what
what
I
I'm saying.
did. I selected it from here. Comma.
I'm not seeing it on your screen. Oh. Okay. Have you selected L3?
Oh,
I'm not seeing it.
okay. Yes, I've selected L3.
Comma. It's not showing on your screen.
Mm-hmm.
But okay. After that, you
Should
now
I
go to
reshare?
yeah, try to reshare your screen. I can't see it is hang that text lookup.
Okay, am I back now?
Yes, okay. So X lookup, comma, X lookup L3, comma. Now go to the actual table that you want to check.
Yes.
The lookup
Yes.
array, go to the yes. Go there.
Yes.
Yes, select the first one, the range. So shift control down. Select the first one, shift control down.
That's the name, Abby. Under the name.
Yes.
Under the name, Abby.
Yes.
Sorry.
Select the first name, then no, okay. No, not M. It's not from M3, it's from the actual table.
No, the thing cleared. That's why I'm doing it again.
Okay.
You know, once you click on any place that is mistaken, it will just okay, I've done it.
Yes. So B2 to yes, shift control down to select the array. Then lock it. There's a good shortcut to locking. You can just highlight that sheet. Highlight B2 to B5, B whatever, then press function F4 if you are using a Windows laptop anyways.
Okay.
So if
I'll
you
try
highlight
that.
it, you just press function. That's
So I've
better.
locked
So
it
yeah.
now.
Yes, okay. Now move to that comma side. Yes. Then now go to the return array, which is the departments. Go and highlight the departments too.
Just the department, yes. Okay. I should lock that one too.
Yes. Shift control down. Like the whole, yes.
Yes, I've done it. I should lock the departments too,
Yes,
Abby.
yes. Lock the department too.
Okay. Because even when I did the locking, it did not work. Okay, I've done it.
Okay. Then if not found, not available.
Yes, if not found, not available. So, not available.
Available.
And then 0, Abby.
Then comma match mode. Yes, exact match. Yes, 0.
I should press
Then you can
enter.
press enter. Yes, you can press enter. Okay. So double click it down. Yep. Okay, so now let's go to Daniel Lee. Daniel Lee is the only one that is wrong, right? Dan Lee.
Yes,
Go to where
I
Dan Lee
cleared
is.
the Daniel.
Okay, so the reason, go to that Dan Lee. The reason Dan Lee is not showing not available
0.
instead of 0 is because
Yes.
there is a value there. Wait. Go back to Dan Lee. Go back to Dan Lee departments.
I'm here. There's nothing there.
Yes, go to that C4. Go to that C4.
I'm in C4.
Yes, select it. I want you to select the cell.
Okay, just the cell, Abby. Just the
yes,
cell.
the
Okay.
cell, the C4 cell.
I've selected it.
No. C4, the C4 cell itself. You are selecting the column. Yes, double click it.
Okay,
By
the
double
cell,
clicking,
like
I
this,
mean
Abby.
yes.
Okay.
No,
The row.
not the row. Cell C4,
Okay.
the actual cell. This is row.
I've
This is
selected
row.
it. This is where I am.
Yes,
I'm in
double click
C4.
it. Yes, double click it.
Yes.
I want to confirm if there's something there or there's nothing there.
Nothing is there.
Okay, there's nothing there. I guess it's highlighting that particular place as a 0. Okay, select that particular one. Select the C4. Select it.
Okay.
Select
Uh-huh.
it, just the top. Now go to is there a clear option here? Okay, type something in that C4 first. Type something there.
Okay, let me put maybe HR.
HR should recognize it immediately. Press enter. So now let's go back.
Is back. Is
It's
back.
going to recognize it. Why it is not getting a not available there, I can't tell. Delete it. Just
Okay.
press delete. Press delete.
Done.
Just for that C4. Just press delete button. Your delete button.
Yes, I've deleted.
Okay.
Yes.
So let's go back. Let
I
me
should
see.
delete what?
No, let's go back. Let me see. Let me see. Go back to. Okay, it's still putting 0.
Yes.
I will check, Sha. But I don't know why it is doing
All
that.
right. Okay.
I don't know why it is doing that. But before I was
All
thinking
right.
you were getting wrong answers in the other ones. Of course, you most likely get wrong answers in the
No,
other
even when
ones.
I did not lock it, it still gave me the correct
Because
answer.
the other time you did not lock it, the range was shifting down. If you check the number on the range, you would see that it has shifted down from the first one. So some of them would actually be wrong because you've shifted it down.
Yeah.
The only time you don't use an absolute reference is if you've actually named that particular table. If you've not named the table, always make sure you put an absolute reference in it.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
I can stop sharing
Yeah.
now,
Is
right?
there any other person? Yeah, you can stop sharing. Any other person gets into any other person. So today's class, I promised that I was going to sorry. I promised that I was going to revert back on HLOOKUP and match an index. So we are going to, we are going to check out, we are going to check out match an index first, then HLOOKUP. So I'll be sharing my screen. I'll be sharing my screen now. So can you see my screen, please? I want to be sure you can see my screen. Can you see my screen?
Yeah, I
Yes,
Is
we
can't
my
see
can.
screen
anything.
sharing?
We
You can't
can
see
see your
anything.
screen. I
Okay,
can see it
good.
here.
Okay, all right. So the reason for index and match is that, I said for VLOOKUP, there are limitations to VLOOKUP. For example, VLOOKUP cannot look behind. What I mean by VLOOKUP cannot look behind is, say, for example, now, for this Google Docs now, we want to use VLOOKUP to check for okay, let's say I want to look up the revenue. No, I want to look up the category. Yep. I think the category would work. Yes. I want to look up the category of Google Docs. So my lookup value is Google Docs. My table array, all of this table. And then my column index number, which is column index 1. That is what I want it to return. It's column index 1. Range lookup, exact match. If I press enter, this will not give an answer. The reason is because what I am trying to look for is behind what I'm looking for. That is, this Google Docs is in column 2. I'm trying to look for something in column 1. So what happens is that it will not work. So except your laptop has, say, XLOOKUP, and like I said, older version of Excel, they don't have XLOOKUP. So what people always do is to make use of another formula entirely. So they make use of the index and match. The index, they combine index and match, they combine it together. And this is how indexing works. So let's say I select all of this array now, all of this array. So let's say, for example, I want to look for Candy Crush now, for example, or I want to look for something in row. So I'm going to give the row number. So based on all of these things, this is row 1, row 2, row 3, row 4, row 5. So let me say row 5, column 2. Row 5, column 2 should give me this bedrow. Row 5, column 2 will give, as you can see, the return is this bedrow. That is what row 5, column 2, that is what it gives me. And so we are going to try the matchup function too now. Match function. So match function is so I want to look out for this bedrow. This is what I want to look out for. Lookup array, where I want it to look it up is I want to look it up in this range now, in this range. Match type, exact match. I'm expecting it to give me 5. Yes, because it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's on the 5th row in this particular column. So the matching together of index and match would help us get results. So we are going to see now, for example. So here we are going to use index. So index the whole array, which is the whole table. We're going to index the whole table. Then row number. So instead of row number, what we are going to do is we are going to make use of a match function. We are going to make use of a match function. So because we are looking for two things, that is, we want it to look for Google Docs, where there is Google Docs. We want it to look for the category of Google Docs. Like the category, I mean, the particular app, Google Docs, we want it to look for its category. So we are looking for two things. So what we'll first do is we are going to select, so the row number now is going to be a match. The row number will be a match. Match lookup Google Docs. Look for it. Where are you going to see Google Docs? Look for Google Docs in the app array. Yeah. Look for it in the app array, right? And give me the exact match. Then we'll close this. Then for the column number, we are going to use another match again for the column number. So we are going to use another match. Now, what we are going to look for is look for the category. Lookup value will now be the column names. These column names, these top column names, and then give us the exact match. What we just did here is in this whole sheet, look for like match this row. I mean match Google Docs. Help me to look for the index of Google Docs under this app. Like under this particular app, look for the column, look for the cell where I have Google Docs. So it's going to look for it, which is going to be B11. So where it looks for that B11, I now told it that look for the category, because we now did look for a match, that is the category match under where this Google Docs falls in play. And then if I press enter, you're going to see that it falls under productivity. So what it actually did here is, let me re-explain. First off, we did this array, which is all of this table. That's the first thing. Then we want to match the row number. That is, we want to know the number this Google Docs is in. So for us to know the row number that this Google Docs is in, we are going to look for this Google Docs under this lookup function, which is the app. We are going to look for it in the app. That is, look for the row where we have Google Docs. So it's going to look for it here. So it's going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it knows that it is in row 7, right? So for the column match, you know, in VLOOKUP, the only thing we'll just write is we'll write the column index, right? So in order for us to get the actual column that we want to look for, we are going to look for the match of that column also. So for this match, we are going to select lookup value, which is now going to be this category. So look for this category in this category lane. So it's going to look for the row that this category is in. I mean, the column that this category is in. So it found out that it is in column 1. So it now looks for the similar, the first one. So it's going to look for row 7 in column 1. Did we get this? I want to know if you got my explanation here. Did we get my explanation, or it's looking you are not getting it? Did you get the explanation, please? I want to be sure everybody, we are all on the same page. Did we get the explanation? Okay, you are raising your hand. Please unmute your mic.
Hey, good evening.
It's the second part. Oh, okay.
Okay, the second part. Okay. Yeah, I'm listening. I'm going to
Okay,
explain.
good evening.
Yeah, I'm listening. Yeah, good evening.
Sorry, I joined in late, so I just got home and I joined, so I didn't really get what you are doing. Sorry.
Okay. I'm going to explain. So
Thank
I
you.
said yeah. So I said the other, like last week, that I was going to start like I was going to cover up for index and match and most likely HLOOKUP. And the reason for that is that a whole lot of people don't have what's it called now? A whole lot of people don't have Excel. I mean, a whole lot of Excel version or older Excel version, they don't have XLOOKUP. With XLOOKUP, you don't have to be doing index and match. You don't have to do VLOOKUP with XLOOKUP, because you just have to select what you are looking for, the array you need to look for it, and then the returning array. But for people that were for older Excel generation, they have to, because VLOOKUP, you cannot look at the back for VLOOKUP. What I mean by that is, let's say I select app now. The only thing you can look from app is you can look for revenue, you can look for profits, but you cannot look for category, because it will not select index 1 when this is not index 1. I'm not sure if you got me. So in order to be able to work with that, people started using index and match. And from my explanation of index and match, I showed us what index and match really means. So for index is just the index, so equals to index, like index on its own returns the value or reference of the cell at intersection of a particular row and column in a given range. So what that means is that if I look at this array, all of this array now, for example, if I look at row, let me just say row 2, column 2, it's going to return whatever is in row 2, column 2. Column 2 is 1, 2, row 2 is 1, 2. It's going to return temp 1, as you can see. Temp 1 is what is in row 2, column 2. You might be wondering that, is it not Candy Crush? No. The reason it's not Candy Crush is that it does not recognize this as header. So it is counting this as row 1. It's counting this as row 2. So it is counted as row 1, row 2. Assuming when I was doing my my range now, for example, if I decide to change my range to be all of this thing inside, then what I will now have will be Candy Crush, because Candy Crush is now the second row. So column 2, row 2. If I select column 4, row 2 now, you see well. So column 4, I mean row 4, column 2. This is column 2, row 4, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. So that is how indexing works. For March looks for March. So I'm just going to show you March. This is what March does. Look for productivity, lookup array, look for productivity here. Now there's going to be conflict of interest. So exact match, and then press enter. It found productivity, the first productivity in the fifth row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's going to return the first one because even though we have 3, it's going to return the first one, which is on the fifth row. So the combination of these two is what we'll be making use of to get our answer here. So we are going to say index. So index this whole array, you are selecting all of this table. And I'm going to make this. So I said that the shortcuts for this is just press Fn, which is function key, and for you highlight it and then press Fn F4 together. So then for the row number now, you are going to be using a match for the row number. So match Google Docs. I want to make this sorry. F4. Okay, so match. Oh God. Match Google Docs. So where are we going to find Google Docs? We are going to find Google Docs in this range, this particular one. So we are going to look it up. And the match type is exact match. I will close it and then corner, comma. Now we want to do the column number. The column number because we need to also check for category. If the only thing we want to check for is just this, we are going to have an issue here. But what we want to check should be 2 because it does not end at just checking the Google Docs. So we need to check the column number. So now for the column number, we are going to use another match. So now our lookup array here would now be category. We want it to look for category. So where is it going to find category? Category is at the top, that is these columns. So we want it to look for category in this column, this top. And then Fn for it. Then exact match. And then you press OK. And then we have productivity. Category of Google Docs is productivity. To know that this is right, let's change this to Facebook. Category of Facebook is social media. Category of Candy Crush is game. So since we've made everything absolute reference, we can drag this down. And we see we have, so for game, for Candy Crush is a game. They make revenue of 7,718, and then they make profit of 876. Did you get this? Did you get it now? Did you get how the index and match works now? I need an answer. I need an answer. I'm still confused. Like, okay, I'm listening. Like, it's still looking like magic.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm still trying to study it very.
So I think we'll try to take. Let's try to take another example. Let's try to take another example. Let me pick up another sheet. I will download. Okay. I'm going to pick up another sheet now. So I hope we can all see my screen. Yeah, you should be able to see my screen. So in this place now, they want us to match country, which is Portugal, and sales. Country and sales. So yeah, so we are going to use index. Okay, let me edit some. Oh, because sorry, I want to take off a piece. Yeah, all right. So index this whole array. I'm looking for all of this. So index all of this. Now row number. Now we want to match Portugal. So row number is going to be match lookup Portugal. Lookup for Portugal. Lookup array. Lookup for Portugal in this. Lookup for Portugal in this. Exact, yes, exact match. And then close. Then the column number. The column number is going to be sales. So lookup so this second one will also be a match. Match look for sales. I'm going to have to rewrite that sales, but let me leave it at that. Look for sales. Look for sales in these two columns. The top two column, and then exact match, and then press enter. It is not going to give an answer because this sales has a semicolon. So the moment I remove this, we're going to have an answer. So what I just did here is index all of this table. First match is going to be for the first prerequisite, which is Portugal. Then the second match is going to be for the sales. That is, I want you to look for Portugal, the sales equivalent of, the equivalent column for sales of Portugal. Let me see if we can use a single match to get an answer. I'm coming. Index all of this array, and then row number match Portugal. Oh no. Okay, match Portugal. Look up array. Let me see. It's not going to work. Exact match. And then match Portugal. Let me select this steps. Yeah, it's not going to work. It's going to be a double whatever. Yeah. So
Hello?
can you hear me?
Yeah, please. Did you lock? You didn't lock any of the functions here.
No, I don't need to
Yeah,
log this one because I'm not locking this because I'm not pulling this down or sideways. The only reason you have to lock this is if you have to pull to the side or down because it is going to affect anytime you move up and down. So yeah, so let's move to another one.
Yes, I did. Thank you.
So we want to move to another one now. We want to look for Portugal and January. We want to look for the sales in Portugal in January. That two conditions. So we are going to do index array, all of this. This. The row number would be match. The first thing is look up for Portugal. Look up for Portugal in the countryside, and then exact match, and close brackets. Then column number, which is the second match, is going to be March January. Where we'll be finding January is this column. match January in this column, then exact match, and then press enter. And then we'll see that Portugal in January at 65.45. So it just makes matching whatever we need, it makes it easier. That is what match an index, that is what it does. It makes whatever we are matching easier. So the first thing is, after writing your index, you need to select all of the arrays, that is the whole table. You need to select the whole table. Then your first match will be the row match, that is what you need to match by the row. For example, Portugal is in by the row. Portugal is in this row, like this column for a particular row. Then after that, you are going to match column number. For the column, it's going to be something that is on this column. For example, January. So we are looking for January. So we are going to select, we are looking for January in this column. Of course, if we select this, January is not here. Where we will have January is the first column, first row rather, in this row. So that's where you select January and then you press enter. Should I give us a few minutes to check it out, to work on it? So I'm giving us a few minutes. Try to use index and match for what you've used VLOOKUP for. That is the exact match. Try to use it. Try to use index and match. For those of us that are with a laptop, please let's try it out immediately in the class.
Hello, please, can we get like a sample data?
Okay, a sample data. Okay, let me just upload this. I'm just going to upload this. Download. So yeah, I've dropped the sheet.
We can just copy and paste, right?
No, it's a sheet. It's a sheet on its own. So just download the sheet. You can use the sheet.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Yeah, so I'm giving us like let me see how many minutes now. I'm giving us let's say 10 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes for us to work on that. So I'm going to stop sharing and I'll be waiting for us in 10 minutes time. Please, for as much as everyone that has their laptop, please let's practice it. Let's practice. I'm still waiting for our rest. We have like 5 more minutes. 5 more minutes. So we should be done by now. Is any of us getting closer to a solution? Anyone getting closer to a solution?
Well, me, I've tried several. I know I'm close, but it's just something that I miss.
So,
Okay.
Mr. Emmanuel
Uh,
Shotunde, can you just please share your screen so that Mr.
yeah, you
Dayo
can
will be
just,
able to type
yes,
it?
we can
So,
just follow through. Yes.
yeah. So you can just go ahead and share your screen.
Okay, no problem. I'm actually using the same one, but let me do it now. Let me share. Can you see my screen? Can you see my screen?
Yeah. No, not loading
Yes,
yet.
we
It's
can
not
see your
loading yet.
screen.
Oh, so I'm going to,
Okay.
okay, I can see it now. I can see it now.
Okay. So look at this point at this index. I don't know. I know there's something I'm missing. I don't know whether it's the.
I'm not seeing the Excel screen. I'm not seeing the Excel screen.
Is anybody seeing it?
Yes, I can see
Okay,
your
okay.
Excel
Me, I'm
screen.
seeing it here. I can see it.
Okay.
Okay,
I
it's
don't know. Is
only
it clear now?
index you are writing. Yes, it's only index you are writing. You are not mixing it with a match.
Oh, match. Okay. Okay, I know I'm missing something. Thank you.
So the first index
Thank you. Thank you.
is the whole table.
Okay.
Then you use match for the row,
Yes.
then match for the column.
Yes. Yes. So let me just do that now. Put it in brackets. Let me see. Just quickly. Brackets. Okay. Then the column. I'll be the row rather. I hope it gives me something reasonable. Let me click enter now. So we found the typo. Okay, it's giving me a correction option. Okay. Oh, okay,
Click
okay. With
yes.
double double bracket at the end. Okay. Oh, yeah. I think I got it now. I think I got it now, Mr. Isaac.
Okay, yeah. So it's double match.
Yes.
So even the funny thing is that in your VLOOKUP, you have to look for the column
The
index,
column
right?
array.
The column you have to look for the column index in
Column
VLOOKUP.
index. Okay.
You can
Yes.
instead of that writing column index 2 or 3, if you want to make it very
Okay.
dynamic, you can actually use a match to get the actual column index.
Okay. Thank you
I
very
will
much.
show us. I will show us how we can do
Can
that
I
now.
stop
But I
sharing
think you
now?
get. Yeah, you can stop sharing now. I think you get the logic now. Is there anybody
Yes, I
still
get it.
struggling to understand? So I'm just going to explain one more time, then we'll move on. This is the only thing we have today, Sha, anyways. But I'm just going to explain one more time so that we'll be able to understand. I am going to clear this. Yep, okay. So I'm going to delete this and do it again. So
You're not sharing your screen
index.
now. Your screen.
Oh, okay. I'm going to share it now. Yep. So I'm going to do it again. Index. The first thing you do is index of the whole table array. Yeah. After that, you want to know the row number. That is the row number where we have Portugal itself. So it's going to be a match. Look for the row number of Portugal, and where you are going to look for it is under this country. Yeah. Then now the exact match. I want the exact match. Then now for the column number, I want you to look for January. Look up array. You are going to see January in this column, like under this column fits. And then I want the exact match. I mean, it is very, very simple. It is very, very simple. What I mean by you can use, so I'm going to show us the VLOOKUP we did, the exact VLOOKUP we did the other day. I'm going to show us where we can use match now. For example, so in our VLOOKUP, we are looking for part description and unit price, right? So you enter VLOOKUP, look up for this under this table array, this part catalog, this table array, right? And make this absolute, comma. You know you have to write column index number. So instead of writing this column index number, I can decide to make this dynamic, such that what I mean by dynamic is so that I'll be able to move it.
Please, what's that column index number? Sorry. Hello?
Normally, our column index number, because what we want is description, our column index number under here should be index 2, because what we want is description. Description is in index 2. Column 1, column 2, column 3. So description is in index 2. But I'll be using a match instead. What I mean by using a match instead is that if I use a match here.
So sorry.
Yeah, I'm listening.
Sorry, at the end of that $87. So the column index number you just write 2, right? Like number 2.
Yes, exactly. 2, yes. 2, then exact match.
Okay, no problem.
That's
no problem.
Exact match.
That's fine.
Yes, and then you have enter. This is
you.
for VLOOKUP, normal VLOOKUP. This is how it's supposed to be.
Yes.
But the problem is that, let's say I just want to be able to move this to the side now. You know, I'll have a problem because I need to change this from 2 to 3. I don't know if you get me. I need to change this from 2 to 3. And also, you would see that the first one has moved from A5, it is now B5. So one of the ways to tackle that is to make A5. So we want it to be logged under A column 5. So for this one, we can just decide to, because we want it to still be able to move up and down. So let me explain now. I still want it to be able to move up and down by the time I start moving this. That is, by the time I start moving this down, for example, I still want it to be able to do this. But by the time I move to this side, I want it to still be able to retain the A5. Like I still want it to stay on column A by the time I shift to the side. But by the time I shift to the side, it's going to stay on row 5, but it would have shifted to column B. So in this particular case, what you would need to do is to introduce absolute absolute reference, but only to column A, not to row 5. So if I introduce for column A, I'll show us what that would mean now. For column A, if I move it down, you see that each and every one of it still retains, it's still moving down, A6, A7, A8, A9, A10, A11. But by the time I decide to move this to the side now, you would see now, when I move it to the side, I'm able to have an answer. The reason I'm able to have an answer is, by the time I move it to the side, instead of this A5 shifting to B5, it retains, because I've made column A absolute, only column A. In this particular case, you don't need to make both an absolute reference, because if I make A5, if I make A and 5 an absolute reference, it means I'm only locking up the whole cell. That is, it cannot move to the right or to the, it cannot move to the left or downwards. But if I only lock the column, by the time I'm moving to the side, if I need to shift to the side, it will retain the column A and still allow it to be flexible to move down. So the reason I'm explaining this is we are going to make use of a match, because I want this to be very, very dynamic. if I'm using a VLOOKUP. So I'm just going to use equals to VLOOKUP, lookup A5 here. Yep. Okay. Under this table, look for it in this table. Yep, in this table. I'm just going to lock all of this. Yeah, after locking that, I will now use a match instead of using column index. I will use a match. What I want it to look for, the value I want it to look for is description. I want it to look for description. Yeah. So in this case, I am going to be locking, what I'm going to be locking would be 4. I'm going to leave column. I'm going to leave column at B, but I'm going to be locking the 4. The reason is because I want it so that by the time I shift to the side, it will be able to shift to C. It will be able to shift to column C, but it will be logged on row 4. Okay, so I want exact I want B4. So B4 lookup array. So where it is going to look for this, I'm going to go to pattern catalog, look for it here, the column. I'm going to select the column and then make it an absolute reference, match type, exact match type, and then I'm going to close this. So range lookup, exact match type. So I just want to show us the usefulness of the match, the usefulness of match. So because I have entered the necessary thing, I can move this down and then still be able to move this to the side and get the necessary result. There's something I did not lock that's causing a problem here. So let me A5. Okay, still the same part catalog. C4, which is the units. Look for C4, and yes, it should be right. Coming. Let me re-enter for this now and check where the error is. Sorry. You look up. Up table. My go here. Copy. Results match. I will give it an error. Sorry. Why is this given an error? Why is this given an error? A5. Yes. That's catalog here. Column index. Column index is C5. Okay. I think I get where the issue is. What I did the other time was actually right. The reason there is an error, is because So I'm just going to pull it. Sometimes you do some things and you find it very funny. The reason there is an error is because this is unit price, and in the part catalog, it is named as, so it cannot find unit price on that column. That is the reason we are having issue. So what I just needed to do is to change this to price, and we have the answer. Because I was wondering why I was not getting the answer. So I'm just using this to show the difference. I'm using this to show to show how you can use match if you want to have a dynamic column, so that you don't need to keep picking column index 2 or column index 3. You can just use a match to match the exact column index you want. Or, I mean, I'm using it to show that the match, the first one, then I'm also using it to show the different ways of using an absolute reference. There are certain times where what you need to lock is the column only. And there are certain times where what you need to lock is the row only. So I'm going to explain again why we are locking A5 here only. So I'm just going to press A5, and we're going to see the difference. So in A5, because only A5 is locked, so let me do without A5 locked now, and I'll show us the difference. So in A5, without A5 locked, I'm just going to drag this down and then to the side. What happened is that when I drag down, I have the part number showing. I have the part number. It's reconciling the part number. By the time I move to the side, it has turned to B5 instead of A5. It has turned to B5. So now let's use indexing A5, and I'll show us where the difference is now. So A5. What A5 does is that it has logged it on the column. That is, regardless of how I move it to the side, up, down, it is going to stay logged on column A, but it can now shift up and down. That is, I need the row to be able to shift up and down. That is because I might have something I want to look for down, but when I shift to the side, it is going to retain showing the same information in that column, in A column. So if I switch it up and I say, okay, now I'm locking. So let me show us. So now I'm locking A row 5, for example. Please, my laptop charger. So I'm locking, I'm not locking the column here, I'm locking the row. What this means is that I can switch. What this means is that it will allow me to switch from column to column. That is, it will keep switching to the next column. You can see this has switched to B5 because this is A5, right? This has switched to B5, C5, D5, as the case may be. But if I'm pulling down, it will remain on that particular row. That is, it will not move from that particular row. I can keep moving from column to column. It will keep changing because I did not lock the column. But the row that I locked, regardless of how much I move, I will still be having the same response because it is logged on that particular row. I'm not sure we got this. Did we get this, please? Did we get this, please? Did we understand this? I'm not having answers from us. I know it can be a little bit confusing or you not getting it, but if you calm down and check it out, you would understand what I'm explaining. So I'm going to move to, so I just use this to explain how we can use match in VLOOKUP too. So I'm going to go back to our index and match. I'm going back to our index and match. So yes, this. So we've done this one. So now let's move to another one. So in this case, what they want is they want us to be able to check for 2020 and 2022, and they want us to check for the revenues in those places. So we are making use of the index and match again. Index all of this, like this whole array. We are indexing this whole array, and I'm going to make this I'm going to absolute this reference. So our first match is that's our row match, right?
Sorry, please, I just want to ask to lock
Yeah.
the cells is it shift F4?
Function F4. FN. Do you have an FN key? You have an FN key on your laptop?
FN.
FN, yes,
FN.
a function. FN,
Yes,
yes.
okay. FN F4, Abby.
F4, yes, but you have to highlight.
Okay, together.
Yes, yeah,
Yes.
FN.
And I'll
Beside
highlight
your,
the
it's beside the
cell.
windows.
Okay.
Yes, you highlight the one you want to, yes.
Okay. FN F4. Okay, thank
So
you.
if you press it more than once, okay, so FN F4. If you press it more than once, it will shift to the row and the column, that kind of thing. So yeah. So for the row number, I want for the row number, it is revenue. I'm going to select revenue. I want it to look for, okay, I'm going to use a match. I'm going to use a match, look for revenue. So because I want this to be able to move down, I want it to be able to move down, but I want it to be able to shift to the left. So it means I want to lock it at column. I want to lock it at, oh, sorry. I want to lock it at, I want to lock the column, but allow the row to be able to move side by side. Yes, to be able to move. Yes. I want to lock the column. Yes. Okay. So lookup array. Where am I going to see revenue? I'm going to see revenue here. I want to see revenue here in this sheet. I'm going to see revenue here. So I'm going to lock this up. Then match type, I want it to be exact match. Exact match. So for the column, another match, I'm looking up 2020. So for 2020, I want to lock the, what's it called now? I want to lock the row, but leave the column because I want to be able to move to the side, up and down, but I don't want it to affect the row when I'm moving. So look up 2020 and then look up for 2020 here. Look up for 2020 here and this column, and I'm going to log this. And then match type, exact match. I press enter. Yeah. So if you look for revenue in 2020, you can see this. The reason I make use of all of these single reference is so that now that I've gotten the first answer, I can move this down and I can move this to the side. The reason I can do that is that I've implemented a reference, an absolute reference that covers for this, such that if you check gross profit now, gross profit in 2020, you see it is right. If you check net profit in 2020, net profit in 2020 is 38,215. You can see it's right. If you check for 2022, revenue in 2022 is 260K. That's because I've been able to implement a perfect reference. That is, for this one, for revenue, I want revenue such that when I'm moving to this side, it will be able to move down, but for the column, it is going to stay static. That is, it is going to keep reading for column B, but I can move it up and down, such that if I move it to the side, it is still going to stay on column B for this revenue. But when I'm moving it down, it can keep moving down under this particular revenue. That it can check for revenue, check for gross profit, check for net income. Now, in the case of 2020, I want it such that if I am moving to the side, that is, I want to log that particular row, such that it is going to stay on row 3. But if I move down across column, I want it such that if I move to another column, it will move from column C to the other column. It will move to the other column, column D. I don't know if we get that. That is the for the referencing type. I just want us to understand the referencing type in that particular case or in that particular scenario. So the final one, which is an advanced level. So in this advanced level, we are going to be making use of, they want us to look for 3 things: the country, which is Spain, the year, and that month. This can be a little bit tricky, but we'll solve it. We are still going to use an index and match. So index, array of all of this table, index all this table, absolute reference. Row, we are looking for, in our row, we are looking for Spain. That's the country we are looking for. So I need to use a match after. Let's see. Match, that's what it called. Match Spain. Match Spain. Look for Spain in this array. Look for Spain here. Look for Spain here. And then exact match. Now let's pay attention to this second part. For the column part, because 2021 and January, they are in the column phase. Both of them are in 2 columns. So we are going to be using and. So watch me. We're going to use match. So what we'll be looking for will be 2 things. Match this, that is year, C4, and January. That is, look for the year and also look for the months. So it means our lookup array would be and, that is, it will be 2 things. So our lookup array would be this range. I mean, this first range, like B8 to K whatever, and the second one, the second range. Yep. Then exact match. So we can see in Spain, January 2021, we had 92,900. So let me change this to 2023. 130 in January 2023. You can see this. The reason we implemented an and is because we are looking for 2 things in those columns. That is, check for 2021 and also check for that month in that 2021. That is because we have 2 columns, which is column for the year and column for the months per each year. I'm not sure if, did we get this? Did you get this and side? Did we get this? Please let me know if you got it or if it's still confusing. I'm not getting a response.
I think we'll get it after watching it. It's
okay. After
I
watching
understand
it,
in a way. So after watching
okay,
it
good.
and doing it, I think we'll
Okay.
understand better.
Okay.
We're watching
All right,
rather.
good.
Okay.
All right, good. Very good.
Exactly.
Okay, very good. So I will send this sheet. So this is how index and match. This is how it works. I think there's also an X match. So for those that have XLOOKUP, there is an X match. X match is just the easier version of match, where you look for this and then the lookup. This is which exact match. It's just the exact match is on the seventh column. It's just like it works same way match function. I mean, the normal match function, same way it works. So, but you incorporate it with XLOOKUP. I mean, with what's it called now? With yes, XLOOKUP, yes. So now let's now go back to HLOOKUP. I found out the reason the HLOOKUP did not work the other day. The reason the HLOOKUP did not work the other day is because the values, this heading, they were in column, the normal column. For XLOOKUP always have their titles, like all of these titles. Instead of it being on the column side, it should be on the row side. That is title, year, rated, release date, runtime, genre. So for us to look for this, so there is a list. Let me delete all of this. We created a list of all the films. I've already created that, the list of all the films. Now, HLOOKUP, look for this value. That is, look for value, the film. Let me lock it up, F4. Look for the film table array, all of all this table array, and then comma the row index, because it is film we are looking at. I mean, it is the year we are looking for. The year is in index 2, that is row 2. You know, in column, we count based on column 1, column 2, column 3. But that's in VLOOKUP. But in HLOOKUP, we count based on row. So row 1, row 2, row 3, row 4, row 5, row 6. So here is in row 2. So we are just going to write row 2 index exact match. And that's how we're able to get the year. So we can change this to and make use of say match. So look for match, look for year under the range, lookup range, look for it under this range. And let me fix this. Let me make this F4. And then match type is exact match, and then close the brackets. So the reason for doing that is so that I can easily move all of this down. Rated. Okay, I did not lock the movie, whatever. I did not lock this function F4. Yes. Yeah. Such that if we change this movie, you'll easily be able to get the year, the rating, and then the genre. Yeah. Did we get this? Did we get this HLOOKUP? Although it's in few cases that you will have sheets arranged the HLOOKUP way. Because in few cases you have it arranged the HLOOKUP way. I want to know if you got this. Did you get this, please?
Maybe you can go over it just one more time. Although most of the time, even if I don't get it in class, by the time I rewatch the video, I always get
rewatch
it.
Okay, all
Yes,
good, all
because
good,
at times you cite maybe more than one example. So if I don't get the first example, I'll get the second example. That's the way it works for me. I don't know about others, but this one is not clear now. Or maybe when I rewatch it.
In most case, you will most likely not find data that are arranged where the title of the data is in rows. You most likely not find it. So in most cases, you would most likely use a VLOOKUP. In most cases, it's just in few cases you have to use HLOOKUP. We are just teaching it for balance. So
Okay.
if you check the exercise sheet that I shared the other time, the instructor and exercise sheets, you would see the XLOOKUP, you would see, I think you should see match and index. So you see match and index practice. And I've also shared a sheet on the group, the one I shared in earlier in the class for match and index. So if you check it, you will be able to also see the match and index, whatever, the match and index details there too. Okay, you have a question?
Yes, please. Oh, I want to ask the file that you gave us where it has all the exercise. I don't know, maybe there's something I need to do. When I tried downloading it, it was
Yeah.
giving me an error. So what it does is that it's just download per exercise instead of downloading everything at once, so that I can now be going. But once I click on one exercise, it will tell me edit, and then maybe if I do anything on it, it will save just that exercise. So I have to go back again and go and pick another exercise. So I don't know, maybe there's something
Exercise.
I need to do.
Are you saving it as CSV or something? No, I think if you are saving it as it will not even work in the first place. Did you download the zip file, the actual zip file?
Yes, I downloaded it.
Maybe try
Yeah.
to
Mine is just scattered.
across. I try to read, probably you try to re-download it. Try to re-download it. Just
All
try to
right, thank you.
re-download it. Yeah. Any other person with question? Any other person? Any other person? Okay, if there's no other person, I think we'll be ending the class now. So for those that don't understand, you can just rewatch, try to rewatch the whole exercise. I mean, the whole thing I've explained in class. Try to rewatch when the video is out. Then if you don't get it after that time, you can now reach out to see how it's going to be. On Sunday, our next class is on Sunday. On Sunday, I might be on the road. I don't know how fast I will get to my destination before 7 p.m. on Sunday. I don't know yet, but I will most likely be on the road in the evening, but I don't know when I will get to my destination. So I'm not sure if we'll start the class by 7, but I will reach out to Adeyoka to let her know the time I'll be available for the class. But we'll have our class on Sunday. So we'll have our class on Sunday so that we'll have the normal class, and then Tuesday will be our revision, whatever. So thank you very much, everyone, for joining this evening's class. Have a wonderful night rest, everyone.
Thank you.